Hey, I'm Andrea. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here on my channel, welcome to you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to see more from me and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I have mentioned this on my channel before, but I am a huge fan of the Fast and Furious movies. And as I am sure you are well aware, the 8th installment, The Fate of the Furious, will be in theaters April 14th, which is right around the corner. And so in anticipation of that and in celebration of all the movies in this series, I thought I would start a segment here on my channel called Fast Fridays, just giving you a look at all the movies in the series thus far, going over some important plot details, sharing some highlights, and also talking about why I think that film is important to the overall series. And so obviously you have to start at the very beginning with 2001's The Fast and the Furious. Brian O'Connor is a police officer who goes undercover as a street racer in order to put a stop to this string of hijackings. And his mark is Dominic Toretto, who is the leader of a highly skilled racing team. O'Connor ends up becoming really enamored with this world of street racing, and he blurs the lines between criminal and cop. This is our first time really seeing the elaborate and over-the-top stunts being done that have really gone on to become the lifeblood of this series. In the fast world, cars defy gravity and all other forms of logic, and they just do things that cars don't do in the real world. But that is one of the things that has made this series so entertaining to watch, and that really just grasps your attention the second that you sit down to see it. I will say it is true that you do have to suspend a lot of your disbelief in order to really watch these movies and enjoy them, but once you get past the fact that some of it's really unrealistic, you can definitely see that it's entertaining and it's worth watching. Some highlights from The Fast and the Furious. I think that since this is the first time we really get to see Brian and Dom interact together and see their chemistry, see what they're about, you see that there always was sort of that connection between them from the very beginning. You know, they went from being foes to friends to foes again, and then ultimately to being family and having this great brotherhood, which is one of the biggest elements of the Fast series. Friendship and family is really important to these characters. And Dom is not the only member of the Toretto family who Brian really hits it off with. We get to see Paul Walker's character also developed feelings for Dom's younger sister Mia, played by Jordana Brewster, and so seeing them first fall in love, it's really kind of cute because I think that relationship has always provided sort of just a nice fuzzy feeling for the franchise. Vin Diesel is really known as the heart of this series, and in a lot of the later films he actually serves as his executive producer, and so I always find it really interesting that the majority, actually all of this film, is really told from the perspective of Paul Walker's character Brian O'Connor, and I think that that was really helpful for us as moviegoers because we really got to see everything that happened from an outsider's perspective, which is what we were. And this film really just, I think it was the cult-like following that really made this film as big as it has gone on to become today. Some memorable scenes in this one, I think about, there is that moment early on in the film where Brian is trying to win the respect of Dom and his crew, and he has all this NOS like added to his car, way more than even makes sense. And I think he really was doing it just to get his attention, but it actually was kind of dangerous. Seeing Dom drive for the first time, I mean, he is a really talented guy, even though he's a fictional character. I mean, you put him in a car and he's legit. He knows exactly what he's doing, what he wants to accomplish, and nobody can beat him, basically. And so we see that for the first time here. We get to see the first race ever between Brian and Dom. Obviously, Dom wins. There was a scene where cars literally were sliding underneath huge 18-wheeler trucks, which I don't think you'll ever see in real life. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, that may be one that's more possible than some of the others in this series. There are the scenes at race wars that take place in the desert. That becomes important later on in the series because we see them show up at race wars again. And then I think my favorite scene of this movie is towards the end of the film when Brian and Dom race again, and they actually are racing against a train, and it's just so dangerous. It's so over the top but they don't die and they walk away basically with just scrapes and bruises. I think Dom kind of sprains his arm, and I mean, that's just the stuff. It's done now, but it's on such a bigger scale now. And so it's really, really cool to see it from the beginning. And you know, this film, it really started out as just being like this small movie that had a cult following because of the underground street racing scene. And just to see where it is today, it's crazy. Everything is just bigger and better. Explosions, the toys, the cars, everything's on a different level. Everybody is watching these films across the globe. It's just blowing up. It's like the little movie that could. A Cinderella tale, if you will. But thanks so much for watching, and I will be back with another video and some more Fast Friday stuff really, really soon. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!